Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Langer at the Mic Live. Another Habs postgame show here on Langer at the Mic Live. And the Montreal Canadiens, they lose again, this time by a score of 4-1 to the Edmonton Oilers. And honestly, I'm too tired and just too numb to be sad and angry about this game. I guess more angry. I mean, I'm only sad about losses, I guess, where players unfortunately get hurt or the Habs lose playoff series that they maybe shouldn't lose. But anyway, yeah, I'm honestly too just emotionally numb over this team to get really, really mad about it because it's the same things every single game. Every single game is just they're tired. They just don't have enough finish. They don't score enough goals. And they get when in the times of the game where they get outplayed, the other teams in this division have better players than the Habs do, like Connor McDavid, or they have better top players than the Montreal Canadiens have, like Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, or Pierre-Luc Dubois, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers, and Kyle Connor. Just whoever the Canadiens face, it's like just their best. The talent on the other side, the top players on the other side will always just seemingly take over the games where the Canadiens take the pedal off the metal a little bit. Some interesting stuff beforehand, though. I want to give a shout out to Carey Price. Started the game with his brains mask, his zombie mask, and a nice set of blue pads, but he got hurt midway through the second period. And unfortunately, Jake Allen, despite how well he has played all season and again in this game, like 25 saves on 28 shots that Allen faced, it's just the Canadiens are just not giving him goal support. They're just not. And just one goal scored for Jake Allen tonight. And a couple other things. Shout out to Patrick Marleau playing in his 768th NHL game. I believe he's still playing as we speak for the San Jose Sharks against the Vegas Golden Knights. I remember in one of my first Scholastic, there was like a Scholastic Hockey Superstars book for kids written by my CSM instructor, Paul Romanek. Shout out to Paul Romanek as well. And I remember Patrick Marleau was I'm old enough, I guess, or Patrick Marleau played long enough in the NHL for him to be one of those featured superstar players in the year 2001 or 2002, I believe, with Mario Lemieux on the cover. So shout out to Patrick Marleau. But back to the Montreal Canadiens, to the soberness of the Montreal Canadiens. So they were tired and they got severely outplayed in the third. Like I said, it's just that simple. I like the way they played through the first 40 minutes of this game. I really do. It really felt like a playoff game. It was fast. It was intense, back and forth, tight. They're shutting down Connor McDavid to a T. They're putting on a clinic against McDavid and Draisaitl. Just sticks right on him right away, bodies on him right away, not giving him any time and space, even behind the play. Like he got frustrated and gave Deneau the business, and Deneau gave him the business back behind the play, and Josh Anderson gave him the business behind the play at the benches there in the first period, and then even in the second period, when even a guy like Connor McDavid, when superstars are thrown off their game, like things will happen like that in the second period where he mishandled a puck, where he mishandled a pass on a 2-on-0 with, I think, Jesse Puljujarvi it was at the time. Yeah, it was Jesse Puljujarvi, where just the Habs defense was Petrie, and I think they're on the power play, so it must have been Petrie and Tatar, obviously a new power play lines. We'll get to the power play in a little bit and how bad it is. But they left them wide, both of them wide open on a 2-on-0. And just little things like that when even the best of the best, when they're off their game, like taking a pass like that sometimes isn't always a sure thing. Or that's how they can bobble passes like that. But Connor McDavid is good enough to be not off his game for not too long. And he just completely took over in the third period, even though Alexander Romanov completely lit up Jujhar Khaira in the first period with a huge hit, a clean textbook hit. And unfortunately, Jujhar Khaira was shaken up with a little bit of whiplash on the play. Pretty scary. Couldn't really stand up and balance himself after the hit. Hope he's okay. It's likely his second concussion within the month after fighting and getting knocked out by Brett Ritchie of the Calgary Flames a month ago. So obviously, best wishes to Jujhar Khaira. But Connor McDavid played around 27 minutes tonight. And clearly the Montreal Canadiens, they completely ran out of gas before Connor McDavid did. Leon Draisaitl was not too far behind, by the way. But yeah, the Oilers 19-8 were the shots on net in the third period. And that brings me to another thing here. So the Habs playing, again, I keep saying I'm a broken record. I know, but I don't care because nothing's being done about it. Nothing's happening about it. The Canadiens playing 4 games a week from, the middle of, or the end of March, or the end of their COVID break until the end of the season. And I like, they're tired. It's getting to them physically, mentally, because like when they're fresh, they play much better than this. They play complete hockey games. They're a better team than this when they're fresh. So clearly they are tired and affected by the schedule. And you know how I know this? Because here's another thing. Montreal Canadiens, they have outshot their opponents like crazy all season. I think I wrote an article about it, and I wrote the article about calling up Cole Caulfield a couple weeks ago. It was somewhere along the lines of like 27, 28 times in 37 games. This is through 2 weeks ago. So through 2 weeks ago, the Habs were outshooting their opponents over 2/3 of the time. But now the Montreal Canadiens have only outshot their opponents once in the last 6 games. Just one time the Montreal Canadiens have outshot their opponents in the last 6 games. And that was against the Ottawa Senators past Saturday, and that awful performance against the Ottawa Senators, where the Senators managed just like, 14 shots on net? 14 shots on net. Do I have that right? Yeah. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. It was... just 15 shots on net the Flames had on Saturday. So that was the one time in the last 6 games the Montreal Canadiens outshot their opponents. So that, to me, is just one of the main ways that shows that they're tired. That, look, they're not going to... obviously their shooting percentage isn't going to be very high, because even when they were outshooting their opponents, they were around 15th in the NHL in shooting percentage, around 9%. But that number obviously has to have gone down the last couple of games. And when a team that already struggles to score goals shoots the puck less, well, they're going to score less goals. So now the Montreal Canadiens have 2 goals or less in 7 of their 8 last games. I might have written that incorrectly on my Twitter after last game. It's now 7 out of 8 of their last games. The Montreal Canadiens have scored 2 goals or less. And obviously on top of that, the Montreal Canadiens have only 2 power play goals in their last 12 games since the COVID break. That is about 2 for their last 30-something%. And tonight, I would say on their first power play, the new setup almost got a goal. It almost got a goal in the first period. Yeah, first period. It almost got a goal from a very nice pass cross seam to from Corey Perry, quick pass right to Jesperi Kotkaniemi on his one-time side, which is something new that they're trying out, which I like. But Kotkaniemi, you got to score that, man. That has to go in the net. That has to be a goal. Like, Mike Smith was completely beat to right. He would have had to make a spectacular save to stop that, but Kotkaniemi put it a mile over the net. Can't happen. You got to score that. By the way, also, as usual, leave a comment for those tuning in and joining or watching after the fact. Leave a comment on, I guess, what your biggest concerns to the Montreal Canadiens are at this point, or just anything. Leave a comment. I love the discussion, love the interaction as usual, and I appreciate it. So, so just as usual, leave a comment if you have any advice or any recommendations or anything that the Montreal Canadiens should do to get to rest their top guys, or just maybe be less tired. I don't know, just whatever it is. Unfortunately, look, I've been harping on Cole Caulfield, of course, but it seems at this point, because of the limitations in terms of call-ups, it takes an injury for him to get into the lineup. Injury, I think suspension, which is really unfortunate. Honestly, it's really unfortunate, because the Montreal Canadiens, they really, really need Cole Caulfield right now. In hindsight, could they have called him up directly from Wisconsin after signing his ELC? Could they have assigned him right away? I'm not sure. But I mean, I think also then again, you could not have guessed that Brendan Gallagher was going to get hurt. So look, just a couple of other things I guess I want to go over. Look, the good news is, hey, Eric Stahl got another goal. I find Eric Stahl played a much better game today. Just that fourth line was contributing, at least when the Habs were playing well. I really liked also the combination of Suzuki, Armia and Toffoli. I really like that combination there. Got a couple of really good scoring chances that obviously, once again, if Cole Caulfield was in their positions, he would have scored. Like Armia missed like a prime scoring chance in the first period. But at least they're making good things happen when they're playing at their best in this hockey game outside of the third period. And I like the Danault line with Anderson and who was it again? It was Anderson and Tatar, of course. Danault, Tatar, and Anderson. Although I would like to keep Anderson with Kotkaniemi the same way that Tatar stays with Danault. I'd want to see Anderson staying with Kotkaniemi. I really would want to see that. But also Danault was, I think, a lot better on faceoffs tonight. Danault won 13 faceoffs tonight, so that was really good. And Stahl won 2 faceoffs. I don't think he took that many though. Also, Romanov played a really good game. He was obviously again hitting everything that moved as usual, including Jujhar Khaira. And Weber has to not be on the power play. That's another thing. Right now, Weber was just a detriment to that wave of the power play. Like he couldn't make a pass, couldn't handle a pass, couldn't shoot the puck on net, couldn't skate. He couldn't win puck battles behind the net to recoup it and set it back up. To me, it's very simple that Romanov has to replace Weber on the power play right now. And that's another thing you want to talk about. I always harp on cutting Weber's minutes. He played, another 23 minutes tonight for Shea Weber, 23 minutes for Ben Sherratt, more than Jeff Petrie and more than Joel Edmondson, although they didn't play their best third period either. Joel Edmondson and Jeff Petrie were -3 each tonight, so obviously that's not good. But you want to talk about limiting Weber and, maybe not so much Sherratt, but more so Weber's minutes. How about take him off the power play and save him a good minute and a half of ice time per game? Easy. By putting Romanov up there instead of Weber. Easy. And over the course of 4 games a week for the next 4 or 5 weeks, it adds up. It adds up for Shea Weber. And again, now with Eric Gustafsson and John Merrill likely joining the team now that they're done their quarantine, they'll likely play, one or both of them will likely play on Wednesday. Who draws out? It better not be Romanov. It better not be Kulak because they are actually not playing terribly. So you got to make the call. Kulak only played 13 minutes tonight. Romanov only played 14. I feel like Merrill's got to come in for Weber. Maybe not for Edmondson, but yeah, put in Merrill for Weber, even if you have to play another guy on their offside, whether it's Sherratt or Kulak or maybe even Edmondson. Just you got to give these guys a break with the schedule. And are they going to do it? I don't know. I'm scared to death that they're actually going to take off. They're going to take out Romanov or take out Kulak and put in Gustafsson or Merrill at that third pairing. But if it were me, man, I would put him in for Weber or Petrie. Just give them some rest. Just give them the rest that they need so badly. And Carey Price being hurt, that also sucks. I mean, I don't know if he got hurt on that awesome save that he made on Leon Draisaitl, cutting across the crease on the power play, getting it with his shoulder, or whether he injured himself when it was Alex Chiasson, just hit him in front of the net on the McDavid goal that got called off because of goalie interference. That was clear goalie interference. Alex Chiasson running into Carey Price in his crease. So at least the refs got that right. But yeah, just to me at this point with Carey Price, with the way Jake Allen's playing, you gotta give Caden Primo a game or two. He deserves it with how he's been playing with the Laval Rocket this year. You got to get Caden Primo in there just to give Jake Allen some rest. But with Carey Price, you got to give him the Freddie Anderson treatment right now. Like I've been saying, goaltending is just such a feel position. One little thing that's bothering you physically is like pitchers. If there's something with your throwing motion or your release or your windup or delivery, if there's something bothering you, then that'll land you on the IL for some time, or the DL. Used to be the DL. So same thing here with Price and goaltending. If something is nagging and chronic, you got to give it the time to heal properly. And that's what the Leafs are doing with Freddie Anderson pretty much right now. The Canadiens should honestly take that approach with Carey Price, given the way Jake Allen's playing and given that you have Caden Primo that is more than capable of stepping in. Even Charlie Lindgren can come in for a game or two, just not against the Calgary Flames because you actually have to beat the Calgary Flames. But yeah, honestly, just the Habs just have to do what they have to do or what they can do to be fresh come playoff time. And that's what I'm going to keep saying after each and every game, especially at each and every game that the Canadiens lose. Just putting things in perspective here, that all the Habs have to do is make sure that they're well rested and fresh as much as possible for the playoffs, or hopefully they'll have Gallagher back, or hopefully I think at that point Caulfield will be eligible because of the call-ups and the salary cap don't matter. But yeah, just that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And that's pretty much all I got here for tonight, unless we have some last minute comments here that want to come filing in. Of course, any opinions or any recommendations on what the Canadiens could do within their lineup or within the game, what you think about Dominique Ducharme over Joel Bouchard, maybe. Any comments, would love to see them. And yeah, that's pretty much all we have here for this Habs post-game show on Langer at the Mic. As usual, thank you so much for tuning in. Give me a big thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike Langer if you're feeling down the dumps about this Ontario lockdown COVID situation. Then check out the TikTok that I just made, because I felt the same way, or I've been feeling the same way, honestly, over the last couple of days. But yeah, just I kind of conjured up or took those feelings of complacency and just like, here we go again. And they made a nice video to hopefully inspire you. So check that out on my TikTok. And once again, yeah, thank you so much for joining this episode, this live Habs post-game show here on Langer at the Mic. I look forward to seeing you again next time on Wednesday. Have a good night.